Okay, Akwaba. Welcome everyone to African Travel and More. I'm Yolandra and this is Jeff. So we're going to start off with some music. Happy Friday. Welcome, welcome. Sounding good.
So welcome, happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday.
Another song I just made up right here.
Right on the spot.
So if you don't like it, I just made it up. But if you love it, then I must be a genius.
Yes. Okay. Happy Friday. Welcome, welcome. So today our topic is, because a lot of people they ask us all the time about, oh, if Africa is so great, why are people leaving? They do. They ask that. They ask, if it's all that great, why are people leaving? So we just wanted to come on and just talk about that a little bit. And I'm looking down at my phone because I want to find some of those Facebook comments, because I put a Facebook post up, and for some reason, sometimes the topics when I put the Facebook post up, it's like it shakes the crazy tree and it brings people out. Uh, Not that people are crazy on Facebook. I'm not saying that, but I'm
Oh,
just
you said
saying.
they're not crazy on Facebook?
Well, sometimes I've
If they're not crazy on Facebook, where are they crazy?
no,
You
no,
tell me.
but this one kind of
Isn't
just
Facebook the internet?
true.
Just checking.
Yeah,
Just checking.
it is.
Okay,
It's the
just
internet.
checking.
But before I get into some of the comments, I want to just say, welcome back if you're joining us again. Okay, we appreciate you. We feel encouraged and need the support. Also, if you are new here, welcome, welcome, Akwaba. Tree for welcome, okay? A language spoken in Ghana, West Africa, which we love going to Ghana, West Africa. We love going to many countries, right? We are going to announce real soon our country where we're going, in the next couple of weeks. Yeah. So I think that you're going to like it. And we're going to bring you along for the time of your life when we go. But yes, so some of these comments on Facebook, and I'm pulling it up. And you, while I'm pulling this up, if you have something to say, go right ahead, Jeff, because I will hog the uh, I'll take all the time.
Okay. Well, anyway, basically, we are going to be going somewhere in a few weeks, and the reason we're holding it off because we know that some people steal, and that we don't want to give them a chance to plan and plot and break it. No, I'm joking. Actually, I'm joking. It's like,
and the next thing, the reason why we're having our live today is because we're headed out of town shortly. So that tells it. But anyways, some of these comments on Facebook, can I just get into that right quick? So I made a post earlier in the week advertising the live today that's saying Africa is great. Why leave? That's the yeah. Okay, that's the title of today, right? For the most part, uh, people are making comments that are on point, but we have some who think they want to educate us that Africa is not a country, it's a continent. I didn't say, did I say that it was I said it was if it's so great. Africa is great, by the way.
Mhm.
We just wanted to come on to talk about some of the reasons why uh, Africans on the continent, on the great continent of Africa, why they leave. Okay, there are a lot of reasons, and I've been doing a little bit of research, and that's what we're going to get into. But I had someone on the Facebook page seemed that they wanted to talk about everyone wanting to come to the U.S. because it's free, when most Africans from the different countries come, they're not coming getting freebies. Most
Mm.
of the people I know that are coming from the continent and so forth, they're not coming on board getting freebies. So I don't know where that comment came from. So that was kind of no. So, anyways, let's look at some of the reasons. Let's look at some of the reasons. Check the comments because I'm trying to do a little bit better. What do you think some of the reasons are, Jeff, that people are leaving?
Leaving Africa?
Hmm. That
It's,
they
it's
leave.
it's the same reason that people leave California and go to Texas
Well,
because
that's
because they go for greener pastures. You know, people leave
yes,
California. Well, now it's a different,
yes,
slightly different reason, of course, but California becomes unaffordable, so forth,
true,
and Texas. And then the other reason is there's opportunity in Texas that is not in California.
true.
Just like people will leave some of the uh, country towns to go to the city. So you see the same similar migration pattern within a country. Like people will
Correct.
leave the village to go to the
To
city,
go to yeah, to go to the city.
and it's almost always economic. Um,
Yes,
and it's not it's rare that they're fleeing for like humanitarian reasons or
right, right,
asylum or
right.
things like that, even though that does happen, and that's a big part of it in some of the war torn countries or
Right,
the warring countries, and
right.
that only makes sense.
True.
But it's always for a better condition, and many people will leave the continent because they believe
Mm-hmm.
that they're going to have a better condition when they go to certain parts of Europe or some of
Mm-hmm.
the more developed nations,
Mm-hmm.
United States,
Mm-hmm.
even
And
out.
also
Uh,
within Africa.
right, and the
Within
same
Africa.
thing, migration. Like I said, within Africa, they go from
Mm-hmm.
country to country. A lot of people try to get to Ghana because it is a much more developed country than some of the other countries around. And there's one migration pattern. I think was it the Lebanese, I believe, going to Cote d'Ivoire,
Yes.
going to Ivory Coast.
Also,
So
they're in Ghana.
right, and there are migration patterns
Yeah.
to Africa for opportunity as well. I mean, if
Mm-hmm.
you study and if you go there and you see, you'll start to see a lot of Europeans who've migrated to the
Yes.
continent for
For a better
opportunities they
life.
can't get.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, a friend of mine, we had an interview with him. You know, Craig
Oh
Norman.
yes. Oh
He
yes.
moved to Africa for the
From
opportunity
California.
because he could not develop the type community he wanted to. I mean, he was a developer, land community developer,
Mm-hmm.
so he couldn't do that in the United States. But he was able to go to Africa, get a lot of land, and develop in the exact way that he wanted to develop. And he's developing a community, a whole neighborhood. So
We'll have to show them some footage
right.
on
So
that one.
just
Yeah.
if you want to see that, look at one of our interviews with Craig Norman
Mm-hmm.
in Pram Pram.
Yes.
That's in
I'll
Ghana.
put it when this process. I'll put it in the description link so that you can check it out. But yes, one of the reasons, economic. Okay, that of course. The next reason, and this is, I kind of looked at a little bit of research, and one of the researchers or research that I looked at was from Afrobarometer, and they look at they're African led, and they look at the different aspects of why people are wanting to migrate. And to just surprise you, we think that most of the people go to Europe and America, but according to Afrobarometer, they go to other African countries. And this I know is true because remember when we're in different countries, like we may be in Kenya and the person will say, oh, I'm from Ethiopia, or they may be in Ghana and they say, oh, I'm from um, Gambia or something. It's a lot of migration within the continent. So it's not always that they're trying to escape to a European country or to the Americas because they know it's opportunity on the continent. But it's just that that's what we see a lot of the times. So yeah, looking for work, escaping poverty, and yeah, are some of the factors.
And getting educated. And I guess that goes to the same level with work. Education enables people to better support the communities that they come from, either through technologies, medicine, or some sort of business, or in some kind of way, the education helps.
Right.
So that's a big part of the institutions are much more, how do I say, renowned in the more developed nations. I'm not going to say that they're necessarily better, because there are some great institutions on the continent. And when you start to trace some of the historical educational institutes, they trace back to Africa. So if you want to dig in and do your history,
right?
So basically, that's why that's a big part of the reason they come here.
But who's leaving are the youth. So I always think that that's kind of that's something to look at. But according to the research, it's 18 to 25-year-olds, and they are educated. A lot of them are educated. That, as a matter of fact, that's the largest group that's leaving. So the educated leaving can be a problem because it drains away. It drains from that particular country.
Right. So that's what they're refer to as brain drain, and it happens in many countries. It happens. I mean, a lot of it happens in countries, and they come to the United States because, especially if they do have an education, one of the problems, and I've heard many people say this: the universities will graduate a lot of students, but they graduate them into very small opportunities. So once they graduate, they are I'll give you an example. When we were in Ethiopia, our taxi driver was a lawyer.
True.
And there's a whole story behind him, but I'm saying that was just an example of.
Go ahead and tell it. It's an interesting story if you want to.
Well, no, he was kind of controversial, but anyway, that would be a time when we talk about Ethiopia. But
okay,
because I want to make sure I quote him right, because there was a lot of things he said.
Okay,
but anyway, that's just an example of someone who, when we would not find a lawyer, or it would be rare to find a lawyer here in the United States who was an Uber driver. True. So it's the same thing. So that's sort of what you see. It's what we're talking about is the poverty, lack of opportunity, education. Basically the same reason that you move from one city to the other. It's more opportunity.
And that's basically the same with this too.
Right.
That's why I wanted to kind of, although it seems like a topic that, you would know the answers, really not, because they're saying that most of the people that are immigrating, they're immigrating within the continent.
Right.
And most of them do not want to leave their regions, but they actually go to sometimes slightly different regions, just like Jeff was saying, from the village to a city and that type of thing to work. So it's not as cut and dry as everybody's trying to go to Europe, as you see in the media, that you see boats and boats of people trying to get. That's not always the case.
It's not always the case,
right? But it's what we see in the media. And for us, for me, the truth, I like for the truth, someone to speak the truth, not to just always, because the big media just show one way. But I don't see any comments. Everyone is quiet. Did you have any more input on it? I know I wanted to talk a little bit about in the upcoming um, weeks that probably gonna take off a little bit right before art because we plan on towards the end of the month is when we'll be returning to the continent, and so we have lots of good stuff coming up, mainly from our travel from before, but lives, I think, closer to the time when we're going to go. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's
Okay.
and while we're there too, so
Oh,
you
definitely
you
while we're
you
there.
you'll get a chance to
Yes.
follow us around, and it won't
Hmm.
cost you nothing.
Okay, it won't. It won't. So remember to like, subscribe, and share. Okay, and yes, because it means a lot. The comments, and I'm fortunate. I don't have people making too many uh nasty comments. Not on the Facebook. I mean, not on YouTube, but on Facebook. Sometimes they go off the rails.
Right.
Because
But
we just,
on YouTube, you know you've arrived when somebody makes a YouTube video of you criticizing you.
oh
So
yeah,
we haven't arisen
arrived,
yet or arrived,
right,
however you say
right,
it.
yes,
We
arrived
just
yet.
get people making nasty comments on the video, but we
Ah,
haven't had people take clips of the video
right, and
and
so
make,
okay.
so we're
Well, who
waiting for
knows?
some.
I'm really not waiting. I don't want any drama. I'll take it. Just you may want drama, yeah. I don't
Well,
want
that's what
drama.
people like. People like controversy drama.
Then
They
they
like
will.
it's one of those things I heard someone say. It's like if you get half the country to hate you, you
Oh
can become president.
well, was that the
So
truth with Trump?
yeah, if you get half the country, half
Is
the
that
country
what
can hate
happened?
you, and you can become president. So um,
I don't know.
being
Oh,
controversial has its merits, has
okay.
its rewards for a lot of people.
Okay, we're not going to be controversial though. We just wanted to bring a little truth, a little light on a Friday, and then want people to come along with us for the ride.
And one of the other things about people leaving Africa,
Mm,
um, a lot of times people, as technology is getting in everybody's hand,
right.
they miss what they have. So a lot of people will come here
Hmm.
and or here or whatever country,
Right.
and they realize that there are people in our developed countries who is trying to get there to get something they walked
Exactly.
away from.
Exactly. And
I
so
give
that's
you
yes.
I
Go on.
give
Go
you
on.
a perfect example. It's like when I remember we used to my wife used to make different shea butter products. And I remember when we went to Africa, it was such a prized nut, and the butter is so prized here.
Yeah.
So we go there and we go to the village, and it's just shade nuts
Everywhere.
everywhere, all on
Everywhere.
the, you know what I'm saying?
It's
So
like,
people walking over them, kicking them, they're annoying people.
right.
So what I'm saying is that sometimes that's part of their education is to come
Hmm.
to a country and then realize that
Hmm.
people in the country trying to get to your place and get some of what you
Right,
got. So,
exactly.
uh,
That's true.
mhm.
That's a very good point. I like to come back and actually do a show, probably interviewing people who have done, you know, uh switch places, as you could say, switch places, because you're telling the truth. That you don't realize what you have until you've left or until you've gone to another part. Okay. So it's all good. You want to say anything else before you play us out or
No, that's all we had to say today. I mean,
short,
believe me,
short?
there's
Oh, we could go on and on.
go on, but we're not going to make it too long. Some of
Not
our
too
videos
long.
do go pretty long, so
Yeah.
we're not going to do it
This is
today.
not an hour one to or beyond today, but it's okay. It's all good. I hope we got to the point a little bit. Hope to see you guys real soon. Okay. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Thank you for the support. And God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Have an awesome weekend and have a great week starting off. Okay. Summer's almost here. Maybe it's summertime. Oh, it's shaking.
Okay. There we go.
Oh, I like that. Okay,
All right, I'm done.
we're out. God bless. Have a great week.